Hi there, this is Laura with Mom Envy, and today I'm going to be showing you how we can make conversation heart earrings using an xTool P2. And I've also included the free SVG cut files to go along with it so that you can also make them at home too. To prepare for cutting my earrings today, I decided to pre-paint my wood. Now you can do this after the fact. You can also, of course, do it before too. I just found that it was easier to paint ahead of time because of the tiny little laser detail of the letters. It was really hard to paint around. So this was much easier for me to do. And if you're going to be doing this to sell, you could just paint an entire board pink, an entire board yellow, whatever colors you'd like, and it would make it really easy to be able to cut your earrings more efficiently without having to paint them afterwards. So you can see here that I've decided to go with 4 colors. So I've just painted a little section of my board, pink, yellow, an orangish color, and then a minty color. Now I will say that what I probably should have done was when I was done painting, I should have applied my clear coat before I lasered because I think it would have helped get the char off easier. So I've got my xTool Creative Space open, and as you can see, I am going to click refresh to make sure that I have my most current screen capture of what is going on within my machine. I have used clips to attach the wood to my honeycomb. As you can tell, this is just a scrap piece of wood for me that I use to cut out ornaments. Okay, so now I'm ready to add my SVG file. So I'm going to go over here to the upper left-hand corner where it says image. I'll click that, and I will find the file that I'd like to import. So I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see here, that's what the file has been placed, but this is definitely my not final file that I will be giving all of you, because if you notice, there's actually a bunch of extra files on the left that I need to delete, so let me delete those. Okay, so now I'm going to take my earrings of choice and I'm going to move them in place. Now your file is going to come with a lot more sets of earring choices, and so you're going to just have to do the same thing. You'll just have to delete whichever ones you don't want to use and make copies of ones that you'd like to use more than once. So I'm just going to move all of my earrings over top of each color. And of course, as I'm doing this, I realized that I forgot to mask my wood. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and mask my wood, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've masked my wood. I'm going to click refresh so that you can see the newest screen capture. It's going to look pretty much the same. It will have moved slightly because I had to take the wood off to mask. So, okay, so I now need to move my earrings just over slightly. It was actually pretty close to where it was originally, but I'm going to move them over slightly just to make sure that they are over top of the mask. Now, I just decided to use painter's tape because I had that, but you can certainly use some sort of sheet mask instead that will be easier to apply. I just wanted to do what I had quickly on hand, and honestly what would be inexpensive for these earrings that are just for me for fun. Okay, so now I need to do my settings. I'm going to use my red settings first, which is going to be my outline of my heart, and I'm going to say cut, and I'm just going to use my reference for cutting wood, but I am going to change my power a little bit down to 50% because 100% is just too much for this thin wood. Now I'm going to go ahead and click my blue layer and switch to engrave, and I'm going to do my power as well. I'm going to do it at 10, and I will do my speed a little bit lower than 200 because I want it to just engrave a little bit darker. So I'm going to adjust my speed down to 100. When it slows down the speed, it will engrave darker. Okay, once you're done, you're going to go ahead and click the process button, and then you'll click start on the next screen when you're ready. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside of my machine. I'm going to push the blue glowing light button to go ahead and start the laser. I'm going to show you a little bit of the laser, but I'm not going to have you sit and watch the whole thing, but I will show you what the final product looks like here. So this is what it looks like once it's done lasering. Of course, I've got to peel off the mask and do some cleanup, which I will show you in my next clip. Now I realize I forgot to show you this step in the process, but once you are done, you're going to want to peel the mask off. So as you see here, I've got my mask left over. Make sure that you also take off the pieces in between like the P or inside of the O's so that you have every bit of mask off. So this is the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need your earring backs and you're going to need some glue. Okay, so now it's time to assemble our earrings, but before we do that, I actually need to clean up some of the char. I'm just going to use a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel. Now I will tell you that the light colors really didn't hold up near as well as like the pink held up really well. And so did like that minty color. But the yellow, the pre-painting probably was not the best idea. So tip, if you're going to sell them, be prepared that the yellow is going to need a lot of cleanup. And you will remove a tiny bit of the paint, and that's okay. It looks way better being just slightly less yellow without all the brown. If I were to do these again, what I would do would be to put a clear coat over top of the paint before I laser engrave, which would probably make it a lot easier to clean and would also make a lot less paint actually come off when I cleaned it. Now, I know that it definitely took off a little bit of the color, but I promise you that if you do a couple coats of the yellow before you engrave it, even when you take off a couple coats, there's still plenty of yellow when I take off the tiny bit with this. I'm also going to do my orange ones. I'm going to make sure not to use the paper towel that I just used that has the yellow on it, because then I will end up possibly putting some yellow onto the orange. So again, we're just going to clean up some of that char. Now these orange ones took off maybe a little too much paint, so if I want them to be a little bit more vibrant, I would just go back with my acrylic paint pen or my original paint color and just fill that in. Okay, once we've cleaned them up, it's going to be really simple to apply our earring backs. I'm just going to show you a couple of them. I don't need to show you all of them, but we have all these different colors here. So for instance, for this green one, like the minty color, I may actually choose this rose gold because it's really cute, but I just need the tiniest ones. So let's see. So for the green, we're going to do 2 of the rose gold. For this pink, I'm going to do the 2 silver. Now again, I'm not selling these, so I'm not worried about the backs looking perfect, but if you're going to be selling these, I suggest just taking a very fine sandpaper and just sanding the backs a little bit to make sure you've gotten any of the char off the back that you need to get off. Okay, so you're just going to use glue. I like to use this Gorilla Glue, but you can use anyone that works for you. And honestly, you're going to need just the tiniest little bit. Just the littlest bit. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to just stick it into the center of my earring. I'm going to hold it for a second and then let go. We're going to do these ones now. I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so that way you don't need to watch me gluing. Now don't forget, before gifting these or selling these or even wearing them yourself, to make sure that you let the glue dry, because it will take some time to have these set so that they are wearable. Okay, and so we're going to just let this dry. I'm going to go ahead and finish doing the rest of these because again, I don't want to waste your time watching it, and then I will show you what the finished product looks like.